Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm gonna try out this video thing because the forums are dead. I used to like document videos on there, doing little build threads like that, but nobody goes on forums anymore, so YouTube it is. Got a little bit of a different video, not racing, waiting on some parts, and you know what happens when you wait on parts? You gotta find something else to do. So, one day my wife made a mistake and mentioned to my neighbors that she would like it if I bought a boat. I was thinking about doing that already, and that was just fuel to the fire. You would have thought after all these years she knew better than that, but apparently she didn't. So let's go see what we can get into.
In 5.7 miles, take exit 78A, State Route 134 South, West Harwich, Dennisport.
So I had seen this little Sea Ray 215 Express up on Marketplace and Craigslist. What really caught my eye was that this was a closed-cooled engine that had a coolant system on it. Talked to the guy a little bit and said that didn't winterize it, cracked the manifolds, seized the motor, locked it up, and that it had ran for like 15 minutes about a month ago. Everything looked pretty fresh on this thing. Motor looked like it was just redone. Outdrive looked good. A couple dings and dents, but nothing too major. But you could just tell that the boat hadn't really been touched for about 6 months. Kind of crusty and full of debris and crap all over the place. So took a ride out, took a look at it, and there was a couple things like this little Garmin here. He was ready to take it out of the boat for the sale. Ended up negotiating with him, and he ended up taking his battery charger out. But decided to buy it and ended up grabbing this thing for $2,700. I felt like it was a score. Title for the trailer, title for the boat. Just had to figure out what was going on with the motor, but in the end, it's a Chevy 350. Not that big of a deal. As you can see, the thing's pretty dirty. Hadn't really been well taken care of for a little while. But you could tell that the previous owner really did care for the boat and took care of a lot of things on it. Some elbow grease. We'll come back, get this thing nice and clean, and get Amanda and the girls out on there to enjoy it. So I ended up taking the manifolds into work, broke them down, took a look at them, and obviously found out water went into the motor. So we knew what we needed to do there. So knowing that I was going to have to try and turn the crank on this thing, I ordered this engine rotating tool, which this job never would have happened without this tool. I would have just snapped the crank bolt off. The guy I bought it from was trying to turn the motor over with a Husky strap wrench. Obviously that didn't work too well. I was a little bit short on time. It was dance recital weekend. I had a lot of things to do. So I pulled the plugs out of it, filled the cylinders with PB Blaster, and I let it sit there for about 5 days. And then I put the crank tool on it once it came in and decided, hey, let's see if we can get this thing to turn. So at this point, I was pretty ecstatic. I got this motor turning over. Using only a small 1/2-inch ratchet on there, so I put the breaker bar on it to save my back, but overall it's rotating pretty cleanly. You never know what you get when you buy a boat with a seized engine. So I was pretty happy that this thing rotated halfway decent. So from here, I'm gonna pump the cylinders full of ATF and Marvel Mystery Oil and let it sit for another 4 or 5, 6 days. Let that seep in, and try to clean this thing up as best I can. Bolt the starter back in it, and then I'm gonna pull the valve covers off of it, take a look inside, make sure there's no bent push rods from when he hydro-locked it, and then kind of just tidy everything up, put it back together. I'm gonna bolt the manifolds back on it just so it's not blowing exhaust right out of the heads into the bilge and engine bay area. But I think we can get this thing to run. I'm pretty confident in that. So that wraps up the first phase of the boat. Obviously got it running, obviously not seized anymore. Great compression. I'm happy with where I'm at. Now I need to find some manifolds for it. Pricing out brand new Mercruiser manifolds, I'm looking about $1,600. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna go that route. I'm a little bit leery of buying something used because I don't want to fill this thing up with water again. But we'll see. Probably do another video about starting to clean this thing up. Waiting on manifolds. I got race car stuff to do. We're doing a patio to the house. So in the end, it's going to take a little bit of time, but I'm just happy that I now have a running boat and I don't have to find a motor for it. So thanks for watching this video. Thanks for being interested, I guess. I don't know. If you're not interested, then I don't know why you're still listening to me talk, but until the next time, enjoy.